Hi, this is Steve Walton from Tropic Heating and PatioHeat.com. Today we're going to look at this residence. They have this wonderful patio structure out in front of their home. As you might notice in this image back here, the reflection of the glass, you can see that they're up on the hillside of a bluff, and back there is the ocean. So what a terrific view they have. Their inquiry is placing some units up over this eave area here, and so I'll just discuss what I think might be the most appropriate and how that would function. So let's go here, and we see that first of all, we'll just go ahead and throw some dimensions that I have. Now the client showed me some other images, and they will depict the different measurements here. The only thing I didn't have for sure was the height, the overall height of this edge here, which I'm placing as 8'4". It might be a little bit different, but give or take 6 inches I think will be okay, and the results will be very similar. So here you got this 9-inch height of this header here, and overall 16 inches above the glass. This overhang is roughly 3 feet, and this dimension here I am just guessing at 17 feet wide. The patio, I don't have the exact structure, but some of the images show that there's a step down here and also furniture around this area. So just to touch bases in reference to the bluff or hillside. So when you have a hillside, let's say there's a slope on this property that goes downhill here, and you have a prevailing wind that comes up and over this edge here. When you place a heater, you want to make sure you place a heater that isn't going to be affected by the wind primarily when your intention is to use it during windy parts of the year. And just another note, I don't have the whole dimension of the property here, so I'm just kind of depicting what the face of this might look like too. So in any case, so that's something you want to consider is how effective will an application be pertaining to the time of year that you want to use it and what type of weather you might be experiencing. On bluffs, generally you'd not want to use a gas heater unless that would be your only option. With this overhang and with the idea or intent to place a heater underneath this overhang, a gas heater probably would, because of the clearances and because of the fact that you'd probably want to angle the heater, would require so much of a clearance that the heater would be hanging in front of the window, and that just would not be appropriate. So if gas was your only option, then you might consider using like a in-ground, or there's a deck mount that you could put out here, heater, so that you could, maybe have 2 or 3, 4 different deck mount locations, and 2 or 3 or just 1 heater, something like that, to utilize the space with deck mount heaters. And if you're interested, let me know in that area as far as deck mount heaters. I can explain that further. But I think for right now, the customer is going to be looking at the possibility of all electric heaters. So what I've placed here is a couple of the C4024. These are Infratech electric quartz infrared heaters. And just to put some dimensions back on here, I think I have them. No, I don't. Actually, I don't, but that's all right. We have a 6-inch clearance above the heater and plenty of clearance behind the heater. I have these heaters at about a 30-degree tilt. Just to kind of give an idea what that might look like from inside, looking out. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can get in here. Whoops, let me just go real quick. Sorry about that. Go back over here. And so looking at what that might appear like inside of the home, you can see that, depending on what your height is and where you're standing. There'll be times that you can see it, and obviously if you're sitting in a chair that's maybe close to the windows here, then you'll be able to see them. But in many cases, it's not going to be that noticeable. And I think the client was looking at possibly placing them up against this, I think it was a 6-inch header here, but having it against the header, you couldn't achieve this 6-inch clearance above. So that's why I'm choosing this outside edge as being the primary source or location rather. So let's go ahead and look at the array, see what that would produce. As you can see, with a 30-degree tilt and a 4,000 watt electric heater, which by the way, electric heaters are not affected by the wind, so you have a constant output of 100% of its capacity to produce its heat. So in any case, you can see here that you're going to get about an 8-foot throw from this edge out, and with the seating possibly being something of this nature, you know, we're not really covering much here, and we're definitely not going to be able to support enough warmth for a chair out here on this edge here. But you could, on colder days, move or gather the furniture closer to the heat output and appreciate it that way. The other thing I like to mention too is when you have a wind, this is, see, it's a you know, ocean breeze here coming across the patio, and you're sitting on a chair that maybe is insulated like these chairs, then the only portion of your body that's going to be able to appreciate the heat output is obviously the exposed side, but you also have the wind coming over this direction to offset that amount of heat that you're producing. So especially like in a chair like this, again, let me put the array back on, you know, you're at really its maximum capacity. This is the ideal height. So this is physically 8 feet away from the surface of this heater, which is the ideal location. So you have wind coming across your body this way, and then heat coming across this here. We're three-dimensional beings, so it's not always the best, most optimal location for heaters. And so I just want to make sure that the client is aware of that. Now you will appreciate some of the heat. You could actually, like I said before, you could change these angles so that you're less than that 30 degrees and maybe move the chairs closer to the glass here so that you are more in the direct warmth of it. But you know, each individual is a little bit different as far as their appreciation of the outdoor heater output. So, oh, and I wanted to mention, I believe this is about a 4 foot from the edge. You could move the heater over so that's centered into the glass. Maybe not get as much overlap, but this is roughly about 9 foot center from heater to heater and 4 foot from this edge to the edge of the building itself. So there you have it. If you're looking for some assistance in your outdoor dining area or outdoor environment, please give us a call. My name is Steve Walton from Tropic Heating and PatioHeat.com. We would love to help you. Thank you and have a great day.